Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Rachel Klein, and I will be your presenter here for about the next 20 minutes. We'll probably be a little shorter than that. But today we're going to be talking about the delete historical option that you have available for you in the donations module. This can be really handy if you've had the software for a while and you have some cleanup that you'd like to do. So we have some people who bought the software back in the 90s, and there's just a lot of information and data stored that you can go in. You're actually able to remove, okay? And then once you go in and delete that historical data out of donations, that also gives you the ability to go in and delete givers. So people who maybe gave 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and you haven't seen them since, by deleting the historical information, you're then able to go in and delete those records. So do some cleanup to your database. So it's a really handy tool. It's really easy to use. And it's pretty quick to go over. So again, we probably won't use the full 20 minutes today. But like always, I am recording this, so you can rewatch this later. I'll have it up on the website by the end of the day today. You can share it with somebody else you think might find this information beneficial. And as always, it's at churchwindows.com. Head out there and go to the support center. And you can see all of our past webinars and also lots of helpful documentation out there as well. Josh is in here with me today to help answer questions. So if you find you come across a question during the webinar, feel free to type that in the question section on your GoToWebinar toolbar. I don't actually look at the questions until I'm done presenting, but Josh is in here. He'll be able to get you a typed response, or feel free to wait till after I'm done presenting, type that in, and I think it'd be beneficial to the other people listening. I'll be happy to read it aloud and give you an answer that way. Okay? So let's go ahead and get started here. The information that I am going over, just so you know, is from one of our workbooks. It's from our Donations 104 workbook. It's just 2 pages. It's pages 39 and page 40. If you have the workbook, want to follow along, feel free to do so. You can also head out to our website and purchase a workbook at churchwindows.com as well. There's a lot of good information in each of those workbooks available for you. All right, so I'm going to go into donations here. And right up at the top under special functions, you're going to see this delete historical button here. Now, before you go in and you start deleting past years, it is always recommended that you make a backup as a safeguard. Once you go in and delete these years, there is no possible way of getting them back unless you have a backup to restore from. Okay, so making a backup is very simple. On that opening screen of Church Windows, you go into Administration and you click on Backup. You simply choose where you would like the backup file to be saved, and then you make the backup. It takes a matter of moments, and it can really be a lifesaver. Anytime you do any type of mass change to your database, we're always going to recommend that you back up your data first, okay? So make sure you do a backup before you do this. But up here at the top, under Special Functions, you're going to go to Delete Historical, okay? Soon as this screen opens, it's going to show you the years that you have available to delete, okay? So it has to be 5 years back or more, okay? That is the cutoff that Church Windows is requiring you, okay? So as you can see, based on the sample data that we're using, the most recent year we could delete would be 2016, okay? Now, couple things to keep in mind. Deleting historical data will only delete January through December calendar years, okay? And that is designed that way specifically for tax purposes, okay? So you can see right here, a lot of good information on this screen. It's telling us that it's only going to delete January through December calendar years, specifically for the purpose of recreating those donation statements, okay? Next thing that we should touch on is that if you have a multi-year pledge campaign that's still active, then you cannot delete those years, even if they're more than 5 years ago. Okay, so if you don't do multi-year campaigns, don't worry about that. But if you do, that's another safeguard that the software has for you. So it's going to keep the integrity of that pledge campaign. Okay. Also, software is not going to delete giver numbers that are current. Okay, that's something else to keep in mind. It's only going to get rid of those giver number and that giver number information that falls within that date range. Okay, so if someone still currently has a giver number that started, say, back in 2015, and that's the year we're going to delete, they are going to keep that integrity. They're going to keep that giver number as well. Okay. A couple other things down here. Big red box. I'm going to remind you that make sure you get your backup. And then it's also going to tell you this will permanently delete all donations, pledges, and giver numbers with the end dates within the selected years. A recent backup is the only way to restore that data once it's removed by this function. Okay, so just another bit of safeguard. Make your backup, then you have nothing to worry about essentially. Okay. So then we're going to check what years we want to get rid of. Now keep in mind, the years have to be contiguous. Okay, so with that being said, if I want to delete 2013, it's going to delete everything prior to 2013. So you cannot delete a newer year without deleting the older years before it. Okay, so keep that in mind. If I come and check 13, it's gonna grab everything prior to 2013. All right. Then once you check the years that you're looking for, down here at the bottom right, it's very simple. You just click delete selected years, and then you're going to get a message, okay, just to double check, and it's going to say this will permanently delete all donations, pledges, and giver numbers with end dates within the selected years. Again, we highly recommend making a backup. It's about the 5th time I probably said it now, and then it'll say, are you sure? And you can either say yes or no. So we're going to say yes. We're going to give it a minute, let the software work. This is a really nice feature. We haven't had anything like this prior to when this came out for the donations module. And it's just going to tell you the deletion's complete. You're going to say okay. So now, with that being said, those past years that we just got rid of, 2013 and prior, we don't have any information for that anymore. So if you have people that haven't been around for a while, you have numbers you want to reuse, now you can go in and get rid of those people because they don't have any information on them that's keeping them in the software anymore. Go in and delete them. And then also those giver numbers that maybe you've been wanting to use that you didn't want to end the numbers on, you can now use those because they've been freed up as well. Okay. But folks, that's it. I know that was just a quick overview. It's only 2 pages from the workbook. It's a very simple procedure. The biggest thing to remember is just those different safeguards that the software has in there for you to keep your data safe. And if you want to get rid of it, now you have the ability to do some cleanup on your database, which is really, really nice. Okay. And that's everything I wanted to go over with you today.